Hey guys, so I want to come over here and talk about these two stories. And as always, it involves some white people simply being white. Again, I don't know why black people get surprised by this when I've said it many times, and I'll say it again. This is just who they are. Before I get into that, what I want to say, I am going to be doing a live stream today. My sister has been released from the hospital today, so I'm no longer having to run back and forth up there. So I will be doing a live stream today. I'm thinking I'm going to do it around 5 or 4:30, around 4:30, and I will put the link on Patreon so you guys can attend it. And for the people who are a part of my PayPal donor mailing list, I'll send you guys the link as well, so you'll be able to use that link to tune into the live stream when I do go live. Again, that'll be at around 4:30 West Coast time, and it will be Patreon exclusive. So there's two different stories that I want to go over in terms of these racist videos that are coming out more and more frequently, and we really should only expect this to be occurring because this is just how they are. I don't understand why it's still surprising to black people. I know it's probably not surprising to the people watching this video and who subscribe to me, who see my content on a regular basis, but unfortunately, it still surprises black people when they see these so-called millennials engaging in behavior like this and posting things to the internet. I've already expressed several times that this is just who they are. I don't know why black people are expecting, because some laws got changed, for a mentality to change. It saddens me that we are still having this mentality in 2018. It simply just doesn't make sense to me, in all honesty. Like, we really shouldn't still be surprised in 2018. It seems as though the people who would be surprised are either coons or have their heads stuck in the sand. And I know that's what a lot of black people tend to do. They want to ignore racism and pretend that it doesn't exist. And to a degree, I understand, even though it's counterproductive, because I know that black people don't want to believe that they live in a system of concentrated deviltry and white supremacy. But that is the reality that you live in. And it doesn't benefit you to ignore that reality simply because it's easier to ignore it, so then you don't have to get up and do something and fight, and not have to hold white supremacy accountable. Another thing that I notice is that people keep asking me for solutions. They'll say, oh, you're pointing out the problem, but you're not mentioning the solution. Wouldn't the solution be the reverse of the problem? So if you're submitting, then stop submitting. If you're cooning, then stop cooning. I don't know why I have to constantly, repeat these over and over and over. So I'm going to play these videos. And again, this is two stories. So I want to play the first story, which is not this one that I have up on the screen. It's another one. And then I'll come back and play this video, and then I'll get some commentary. So this is actually another story that I wanted to talk to, and it's very short, but it says, shocking video shows students scream, fuck black people and white supremacy, bitch. So the thing of it is in this year particular specifically, it seems as though there's a lot of exposing going on. It seems like a lot more of these white supremacists are coming out. They feel emboldened. Donald Trump's been in office for a year, and black passivity is at an all-time high. And the reason I have to put black passivity in there is because, again, the law could be whatever it wants to be. You know, Donald Trump could tell, and Donald Trump can tell white people they can do whatever they want to, but it's up to black people to set the standard on what they're going to get away with doing to them. And to me, you're not going to get away with spazzing out and calling me niggers and all that other stuff. That's not going to fly over here with me, regardless of what Donald Trump says. I'm going to make it known that, you know, Donald Trump is ultimately just going to get you killed. So that's just the reality of it. But let me play this and then I'll come back. So I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was just a little clip. It says 2 high school students were suspended for Snapchatting a racist video where they screamed "fuck black people" and "white supremacy, bitch." The disturbing comments were made, filmed by a boy and a girl who attended Fayetteville High School in Arkansas, and shared by an outraged mom of one of their friends. They made the hateful slurs while listening to music by rapper Kodak Black and Drake at home, but a school official ruled their behavior was still a violation of its code of conduct and suspended them for a week. It says student Lindsay Milas told KSFM, honestly, what they said was completely unacceptable.
Students and parents at Fayetteville High School speaking out after a viral video surfaced of a group of students yelling racial slurs. Good evening, everyone. I'm Darren Bob.
And I'm Erica Thomas. 5 News reporter Maria Baker is live at Fayetteville High School with reaction tonight.
Darren, Erica, we are at the beginning of Black History Month, and some parents tell me that seeing the viral video was both disturbing and hard to watch, while others say it's a mistake that kids often make. Now, we did blur the faces in the video, so I want to explain something before you watch it. First, you'll see students listening to a popular rap artist named Drake, listening to his song, and then one pays homage to another popular rap artist who is a Haitian, Kodak Black. Now, here's a look at that video.
I was disappointed, especially that it was someone from my school, but then also I was just like, I'm so used to that because it's so common to hear stuff like that, especially at FHS.
Fayetteville High student Alana Hobson says her mom called her immediately after seeing the video, asking if this was unusual.
They said that was really surprising, and she wished it wasn't like that because Fayetteville is such a diverse school.
Ronnie Cavanis has 2 daughters at FHS, and he says as a parent, he understands it's a terrible mistake kids often make.
And there's, kids or, they say things sometimes that they're just, they don't necessarily mean it. Hopefully these kids, they didn't mean it.
Now, although the video was shot off campus, the students were reprimanded by the school. District officials say it was the content that violated the district's disciplinary code.
I'm hoping that eventually we'll get to a point where people don't think it's okay to say stuff like that.
You realize that these are kids at a high school, and so you want to send a message to them that what they did was wrong, and you hope it's a learning experience.
The students did issue a statement earlier today apologizing for their behavior.
I feel like if they were really sorry, they wouldn't have ever said it in the first place.
Now, I did speak with a parent of 2 of the students in that video, and he tells me that both students are home on a week-long suspension. He also says that this is behavior that is not tolerated in their household. And again, he sincerely apologized for the remarks of his children that may have offended anyone or any student here in Fayetteville. Live in Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Maria Baker, 5 News.
Fayetteville Public Schools received the following statement from the students and their parents, saying in part, "We were wrong, and we sincerely apologize for what we said and for the harm that was caused at Fayetteville High School and in our family. In no way does this video reflect who we are as people, how Fayetteville High School expects us to act, or the values that our parents teach us and exemplify at home. We accept full responsibility for our actions. Our intention is to learn from this experience and to be better people as a result."
Now, you guys saw that last clip, and the thing of it is they showed a biracial girl there sitting there, and she's laughing, and she's kind of have a comical, she has a smile on her face while she's talking about a situation that's supposed to be seriously. Racism is no laughing matter, but they showed that purposely so they could show a black person making light of a situation that affects them. And then she went on to say that she hopes that we'll get to a time where they won't feel the need to say that. Well, the thing of it is that we would get to that time if black people stop making light of it. Like I said, we should be outraged over little small things that they do, this racist. It shouldn't have to even get to this. So saying that you hope it would happen, but taking no actions to ensure that it doesn't happen again is really pointless. And that's really where Black people are at with it. Then you have them have a person over there with the last name Caveness, indicating that he should be back in his cave, talking about this is just children doing what children are going to do. The thing of it is does anybody, you really need to be asking them is what non-racist person would be making jokes about racism, okay? Because this is where common sense come in. This is where really, I want to say critical thinking, because it will be critical thinking for where most people are at right now, but it should be basic common sense. If you are not racist, you would not be making racial jokes at all. It just wouldn't even cross their mind to do that, but nobody's noticing that, number one, you keep only seeing videos coming out where white children are shooting up schools and making racist jokes. Notice you don't see anybody else doing that. So this is where the real problem's at. And they sit here and talk about these stories as if they're somehow, there's like this racist monster, the equivalent of the Loch Ness monster, where everybody's just trying to find it and see what can be done about it. When in reality, this is just white people being who they are. But this is the second story that I wanted to go over, and I'm going to play the video for you guys, and then we'll go a little bit over this.
A couple of my friends sent it to me all at one time. My phone started going off, but I wasn't surprised at all. I mean, it happens a lot. It's happening all across the country, so it didn't surprise me at all. It's hurtful, but not surprising.
Frederick Ryle is the president of GW University's Black Student Union. He says he's satisfied with the university's response to a photo with a racist message posted on social media by members of the Alpha Phi sorority. That has led the sorority to remove the 3 girls involved.
We have a bunch of people on campus. There's a bunch of different feelings. But at the end of the day, it's bringing us together to make our community stronger. So I'm here for it.
The photo appears to show 2 members, one holding a banana peel with the caption reading, "I'm 1/16 Black." The photo was taken by a fellow sorority sister. Students we spoke to say they support the students being removed, but they say that's not enough.
The university needs to be taking care of this, not just the students of color or like Black organization leaders. Like, this is really not our job. We're just here to get an education, and this is really their job. So we're just trying to push them to be able to address it.
The chapter posted an apology on its Facebook page. It says in part, "We are culpable for this action as a group in which a few felt comfortable making a joke that was distinctly racist, ignorant, and harmful. We are in no way trying to contextualize, excuse, or forgive the events that occurred." Sophomore Amani Moss says she was shocked.
Sorority leaders and fraternity leaders definitely need to go through diversity training. I think there needs to be some type of program in place. Rather than this one instance being singled out, there needs to be more of a long-term setup.
The students tell me there will be a meeting on campus Monday night. They're going to talk about some legislation to address this issue. They want to make sure something like this never happens again. Jim, back to you.
All right, Darcy Spencer. Darcy, thank you.
Now, the thing of it is although I do agree with what both these women in here were talking about, the Black ones, where they're saying, you know, they want to get legislation, so this should be addressed. And I like the fact that the statement said, you know, they have no plans of forgiving this behavior, and it shouldn't be. But the fact of the matter is, one of the problems is that you have these cave dwellers who engage in extreme animalistic and degenerate behaviors, feeling emboldened to take to social media and make fun of Black people. But I want to ask this question. I ask this question so you guys can really think. Do you think that if Black people were saturating social media in the internet with images of their true history, meaning the Dark Ages, them having rhesus monkey DNA, them having 6,000 bad disease genes, like just bringing up every last, which you have actually a laundry list of it, of issues that they have, do you think they will be bold enough to sit up here and constantly try to make fun of Black people or compare them to apes or monkeys or whatever? And the question to that is going to be no. And that's because they would be spending way too much time defending themselves and trying to prove to us that they're humans than they would be trying to make fun of Black people and disassociate Black people from humanity. So that's the thing that should be doing. There are things that Black people can do to prevent this behavior, but the reality is the majority of Black people sit up here, they'll trend and pretend like they're part of a movement, but in reality, they're fearful of white people not liking them. And this behavior that comes out is indicative of that. Of course, Black people shouldn't have to respond to racism because there shouldn't be any racism. So we shouldn't have to do these things on social media. But the reality is we do, because we live in a society where you have a bunch of demonic entities running around expressing long-standing vitriol and hate for Black people. And Black people are doing nothing to counter that. They're doing nothing to defend that. They run around and do all these things, and we do absolutely nothing back. We don't do anything to correct them. And that's why I say, even on a religious level, I don't know why Black people would think that any God would look at as favorable. Because in the reality, we're in this situation because, number one, we put ourselves in this situation. We asked for integration. The Moors were some coonish Black men who equipped white people with the knowledge necessary to enslave Africans. But people want to somehow spin it on some kind of religious notion, when in reality, it's not. It doesn't even have anything to do with religion now. It has to do with Black people sitting here, not having any pride, not having any self-esteem, not having the mental or psychological wherewithal to understand that you don't just let people do whatever they want to you. Now, I get that there's years of psychological damage, okay? I already get that. We get that, okay? However, a lot of these Black students, especially the millennials, act like they're completely clueless as to even the history. Like, most of them, they think slavery was 1,000 years ago. So they're probably not even affected by it. They don't go around looking at it, looking it up, looking at what truly happened. So they have no idea who they're even dealing with for us to even say, oh, this is just, they have this self-hate conditioning because of slavery. Now, it might be because of epigenetics. Yes, we could say that. But a lot of these people act like they're oblivious to what even occurred. They're so disconnected from anything their ancestors gone through that on a conscious level, it really wouldn't affect them. It would be wholly self-conscious, but it would, or it could be genetic and biological at this point. But the reality is, this is just the results of a prideless people. And we can't sit here and start saying, oh, God put us in bondage. No, God didn't put you in bondage. The Moors helped you to get into bondage. God is not keeping you in this position right now. We're keeping ourselves in this position. God isn't making Black people allow these demons to run amok and making Black people defend and advocate for it. God isn't making you lay up with the white supremacists that you complain about. So this isn't on anybody but us at this point. It says 3 members of a George Washington University sorority will be kicked out of the chapter after a picture showing a racist message circulated on social media. Like, why is it that the school has to get rid of them? Somebody always have to do something to give them a consequence except Black people. Black people expect the racist white media or even racist white society to punish racist mainstream white people for being racist towards Black people, the very Black people that they themselves hate. So if you aren't going to give them a consequence, who do you think is going to give them a consequence? This is the thing that they're talking about, by the way. We recognize that there are issues within our organization relating to our privilege and lack of diversity, and we are committed to listening to the voices of those who have been harmed by the actions of those individuals and by our actions at the chapter. But notice how even with any of these news and schools, they're not even acknowledging the fact that this comes from white people, okay? If you can't even open your mouth to say white people are doing this, therefore white people are the problem, then you can't get a solution. You just can't. But you guys let me know what you think about this, because I know a lot of Black people, they're not real big on you blaming Black people and saying that we're in this position because of us. But at this point, I don't really care about that, because that's what it is. We are the reason that this is still happening. But let me know what you guys think. Thank you for your support. I'll see you in the next one.